So, as I was saying, Space Fleet. So it's enough to where if you know what you're talking about, and you've seen Star Trek before, you get it. But it's also enough to where it differentiates itself. So Black Mirror is renowned in 90% of its episodes, maybe 95, for this dark, dour, sad, terrifying, horrific, bleak tone. Humanity has this technology, misuses it, and suffers. And it's usually very well illustrated by a specific character having just a horrific experience and conclusion to their story. Like, they're just so screwed by whatever engagement they've had with technology that it's like, what just happened? And you often leave watching episodes like this with a dark, nasty taste in your mouth. Except for the notable exceptions of this episode, and then one in season 3 called San Junipero, which you should also see. It's very entertaining. In any case, this guy has created a massively multiplayer online role-playing game sort of world, and he was mistreated by the CEO, who basically used him to make money on this idea, and he kind of is socially awkward. Jesse Plemons plays him. He's the same one who played the sort of liaison from Heisenberg to the Nazi gang in season 5 of Breaking Bad. Very good at playing kind of emotionless sociopaths, which I'm not sure if that's a good thing for a human, but as an actor, I guess it's great. He does a really good kind of cheerful, slightly charming, but mostly smarmy, overbearing, arrogant, controlling, domineering Kirk kind of character. And so, and then you get kind of references to all these other characters, slight, subtle, elegant, interesting, throughout the rest of the show. Now, there's a lot of great questions that come up, because the show mainly follows the new character, who is a new person at work, and you soon find out that this world is his own little world. It's not the larger MMORPG. It's his own kind of immersive VR experience of people that he works with who were created as digital clones based on DNA samples that he got from the real people that are now living as artificially intelligent beings who, when he's not around, have consciousness, have thoughts, have experiences without him, and suffer from the banality, the lack of full expression, and the being under his thumb and control that is endemic to this universe. Like, they have to stay on the bridge, they're kind of his playthings, they kind of have to follow all his scripts and do whatever he wants them to do, and they kind of suffer a lot from this, which it's interesting to consider an artificial intelligence suffering, right? They pass the Turing test. They pass in every reasonable aspect for human beings and might reasonably be assumed to be human beings. They don't show any excessive intelligence or whatnot, and so they're stifled. Their life is kind of stifled. So it's this struggle for the new character based on this new girl at the office, for her to, find a way to escape the suffering that has just been endured and submitted unto by the other characters. And so that's the central narrative thrust of the episode, and it's very interesting. At the end, they agree that they'd prefer this kind of nihilistic suicide to have their programs wiped out by an upgrade that is coming to the MMORPG world, rather than continue to suffer under this guy. So you get a lot of cool Trek references in here. The ship, the Callister, looks kind of like a Romulan bird of prey, which is interesting. The ship is very reminiscent of the original series ship, especially in the looks of the bridge, until it gets reset at the end, where it suddenly, lens flares and all, Apple Store look and all, looks like the new Trek Kelvin Timeline Enterprise, which is cool. I just thought that was like great that happened. And in the episode, you get references to Charlie X, because the captain can delete the faces of individuals and cause that artificially intelligent being to suffer and experience what it would be like to not be able to talk, not be able to breathe, but still have to survive and live. There's the reference to the enemy within, right? This is kind of the dark version of Kirk. What if all of his bleak, black, horrific instincts were just let loose for everyone to suffer under? And, I mean, it's also a modernized version of that, right? He gets all the girls, he gets to, like, put his feet literally on his commander and do whatever he wants. Then you also get ship in a bottle. You get the musings of artificially intelligent beings who desire more for themselves, desire more for their lives. They want genitalia, for example, which they don't have in the initial version of the universe, which, I mean, like, if I were that evil, I would totally give my artificially intelligent beings genitalia so I could play with them. But I'm not that evil, and I don't have a universe like that, and it just leaves me to wonder, like, I guess he doesn't conceive of himself as evil, and he doesn't conceive of these beings that he's messing with as real people, which is kind of underscored as the fundamental flaw and moral failure of his character, is that he doesn't attribute personhood to these beings. So, and that becomes his downfall. In the end, their nihilistic quest for destruction through piloting the ship into the wormhole turns into them being reborn and having a full MMORPG universe to explore. And then they get yelled at by Aaron Paul, which is delightful, because you're already thinking of Breaking Bad a little bit. And so to hear Jesse Pinkman talk, you're like, wow, that was great. That was very entertaining. I liked that. So there were other bits and pieces. I liked the moment when the Walton character, so the CEO in the real world, but the commander in this MMORPG world, when he sort of admits, hey, I get it. I get why you created this universe and why you created and confined me to it, or this version of me to it. It's because I mistreated you in the real world. I used and abused you for the money that I could make on the company that we built together. And then you get the character saying, oh, well, F you, and I'm going to make this ship work and whatnot. And it's kind of like, you know, a moment of truth, a moment of like acknowledging the real world external injustice of capitalist corporate structures and administrations. Like, this is something that can happen, probably has happened somewhere, will happen again, whatever. And it's wrong. Just like misusing real people, if AIs are real people, is also wrong. So you get a lot of that kind of traditional ethical stance and subtle, actually expressed, implicit moral story or moral play that you would get from the original series or from the Next Generation. So this is really great as a Star Trek episode, with a real world sort of component. Also, finally, I would say that the part at the end where it gets all kind of Black Mirror-y in a way that's been done before was kind of disappointing. I mean, that there had to have been some way. It would have been. Then this is probably why the A- is there. It would have been much better for them to go the direction of, hey, we're going to dignify these persons by having them win a real-world assistant with full knowledge and deliberate, healthy participation and consent from the new girl, right? But no, instead they took the Black Mirror route where the in-universe version of her says to everybody else, use these compromising photos of me to get my real-world counterpart or version's compliance. And so, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be Black Mirror if it didn't have touches like that, for sure. But I felt with the whole tone of the episode, which Black Mirror has recently shown itself to be capable of consistently producing hope of some variety. Yes, you have the Black Mirror ending. You can't not, right? Because they're not going to actually have more than one episode of full-on hope. But there was hope for the characters that you empathized with, and there was justice in the form of a kind of comatose, death-like state for the main evil sociopath character at the end, when he gets stuck in the upgrade of the universe without an ability to leave, and like basically gets killed. Like his consciousness is destroyed, disfigured, messed up, whatever, by the resetting of the universe. So anyway, it was good. It was entertaining. It was engaging. I loved it. It was fun. I'm going to do another video on the really cool kind of ethical points and contextual phenomena that is going on in the episode for the sake of empowerment. I really wanted to combine that with this, but it's just too much for one video. So if you're interested in more from us at Clever Orbits, we do science fiction at the sort of graduate level of analysis and engagement, both in terms of philosophy, cinematography, and basically just also voicing our own opinions. Click the link below. We've got more podcasts coming up, both audio and potentially visual, as the year starts up. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.